Hi, this is I'll explain. This time I will explain the Gundam Unit 4 Boosted. Gundam Unit 4 Boosted, model number RX-78-4 BST, is the final rollout of Gundam Unit 4 taken during the 1-year war. Gundam Unit 4 is one of the first 8 RX-78 built in Jaburo, the headquarters of Federation Force during the 1-year war, overseeing the Army, Air Force, Navy, and Space Force. While Unit 1, 2, and 3 was carried by the Pegasus-class assault carrier White Base to space, the rest of the RX-78 remained in Jaburo. Sure, the RX-78 was well tested to be used for field trials, and trial production had begun with the RX-78-1 standard. The Federation still wanted to improve the manufacturing and maintenance aspect of the design, particularly the cooling, or more accurately, the heat exchange systems. The heat exchange system on the standard RX-78 is rather complicated because it has to connect the heat exchange system of the Gundam with its core fighter, along the core block system. Federation Force has managed to simplify the core fighter into a literal block for the GM to save costs and manufacturing processes. So engineers and mechanics in Jaburo wonder if they could go the other direction and improve the RX-78's power and operation endurance. They had two plans for this, and Jaburo decided to test both plans, one on Gundam Unit 4 and the other on Gundam Unit 5. Both plans worked well enough when tested by Jaburo and adopted by other Federation Force projects shortly after. Like other original RX-78 built in Jaburo, Gundam Unit 4 is both the 4th Gundam build as well as the 4th model of RX-78, especially after the modification of its cooling systems. Around the same time, Federation Force began to receive a lot of positive feedback from the field of their early production models, especially that of RX-78. And so the Federation Force HQ sanctioned all 4 branches to develop their own RX-78 Gundam, known as Project G4. The original HQ policy was to develop universal models of mobile suit that all armed branches can use, and the Federation Force can have multiple universal supply chains which can be redirected to any theater. But as with the establishment of different branches and theater commands to adapt to different operation environments in order to maximize the military resource deployed, so would the mobile suits. So the Federation Force HQ sanctioned the local production and modification of mobile suit for all 4 branches, although that was done after the fact that both Army and Space Force had already started due to Zeon blockade. The goal of Project G4 was to develop the new standard of RX-78 Gundam should the war drag on and Federation Force still required different mobile suits for different theaters and forces, while limiting each of the 4 branches to one standard. But HQ being HQ threw their head into the ring as well. After all, they have the original G4, and they believed they could make it the one G4 that everyone would use instead. That's why RX-78-4 had additional modification for more optional parts compared to standard RX-78. But spoiler alert, the 1-year war was coming to an end, and the Federation force find themselves scrambling everything to break the last bastion of the Principality of Zeon, Arbor Cool. Thus, Gundam Unit 4 was being given the booster package designed for space battle and carried by Pegasus class assault carrier Thoroughbred along with Gundam Unit 5, also with booster package for Operation Star 1, the Siege of Arbor Cool. Let's take a closer look and see how did Jaburo get Gundam Unit 4 boosted, starting from the head. Gundam Unit 4's head is more or less the same as base model RX-78, except for less fans on the side, thanks to the improved cooling systems. Otherwise, it still has the signature Gundam V-shaped antenna, 16mm Falcons behind that, an auxiliary optic on top and binocular main optics, multi-spectrum sensors behind the face mask, and chin receiver. Gundam Unit 4's torso is where most modification took place. While installing a new cooling system for Gundam Unit 4, Jaburo did not only replace the core fighter with a core block like the GM, but overhauled the entire torso to remove even more provision for the core block system, giving Gundam Unit 4 the internal space not only for more organized and capable cooling system, but a larger, more powerful main reactor as well. Some elements of the improved cooling system can be seen externally, like the vents on the side of the collar and the smaller vents on the chest. In addition, with fewer provision for the core block system, the structure of Gundam Unit 4's torso was strengthened, and the weight of Gundam Unit 4 was reduced. Armor plates were added around the cockpit, which was further developed from the one used on GMs, doubling as an escape capsule to recover pilot survivability lost along the core fighter. In fact, between the improved torso structure strength and extra armor plate, Jaburo projected Gundam Unit 4 offers more protection to its pilots than previous Gundam units. That is not foreshadowing at all. The optical computer and machine learning AI is still on board, and it is instrumental to allow Gundam Unit 4 to be deployed in such short notice with all the new systems introduced with the boost configuration. Gundam Unit 4 skirts are more or less like baseline RX-78 as well, and much like the torso, more armor plates are added thanks to the weight reduction with the removal of the core block system. Gundam Unit 4's legs are more or less like baseline RX-78 once again, but with larger thrusters and apogee motors, especially those on the back of the calves. The larger thrusters were installed to capitalize the additional heat exchange from the improved cooling system and larger main reactors, giving Gundam Unit 4 higher acceleration and top speed. In addition, since the legs are primarily and back member for RX-78, this means Gundam Unit 4 has even better turning and position control than the already phenomenal baseline RX-78. Gundam Unit 4's arms are in its boosted configuration here. The large shoulder armor is an external module with propellant and auxiliary thrusters work in tandem with Gundam Unit 4's own standard apogee motors in its shoulders. While larger thrusters on the legs can be used for boosting leap, helping landing for airdrop operation, or even limited aerial combat on Earth, a larger set of thrusters on the shoulders serves little to no purpose on Earth, unless they are whole backpack worth of thrusters like JP-02. Since Jaburo envisioned Gundam Unit 4 to be the new standard mobile suit for any theater, they installed some heavy-duty provisions on Gundam Unit 4's shoulder armor for attaching external modules for different operation needs, like the lifting bars on Gundam ground-type shoulders. The thruster shoulder modules provide Gundam Unit 4 large range of positional and trajectory control, further improving the RX-78's excellent agility. Gundam Unit 4's forearm would have weapon ports for other configurations, and these ones are for the boosted configuration. Federation Force always wanted to have forearm weapon ports for RX-78, as we have talked about when looking at the RX-78-1, but that forearm strap or clamp mechanism had developed into the standard shoulder strap for the Federation Force, with some occasional use for weapon mount, but most of those are paired with a small shield on top. These weapon ports on Gundam Unit 4 can be used in addition to the standard shield strap, although this G-frame set does not come with Gundam Unit 4's shield either. The weapon ports on Gundam Unit 4's forearm are integrated as part of the forearm armor. While there is a compartment layer allowing Gundam Unit 4 to purge and continue to fight without the weapon ports, there is a simple armor plate replacement if the element using Gundam Unit 4 does not want to use weapon ports for any reason. Sadly, this G-frame set does not include any of other options mentioned, so we are stuck with the booster configuration for the arms. Gundam Unit 4's arms and legs received the magnetic coating upgrade like RX-78-2 and RX-78-3, giving it near frictionless mechanical energy transfer, providing Gundam Unit 4 stronger and faster physicality. In addition to the increased power from the main reactor, combining with optical computer and machine learning AI, offering Gundam Unit 4 top-level reflex. Gundam Unit 4's backpack is a modified version of the standard RX-78 backpack, with additional apogee motors, thrusters, optics, and multi-spectrum transceivers. It still hosts a pair of beam sabers, and between the improved cooling systems, increased main reactor output, and additional thrusters, this backpack provides significantly more thrust than baseline RX-78. The relief here for the pylon axle is supposed to be a pair of vertical thrusters. The pylons are part of the booster configuration, serve as both weapon racks, extra boosters, and auxiliary propellant tanks. While it looks like it would block off the thrusters on the backpack on this G-frame, it is a limitation of the G-frame format rather than a design flaw of Gundam Unit 4 boosted. The pylons also work as additional arm-back limbs, giving Gundam Unit 4 yet more agility. The weapon carried by the pylon is the Mega Beam Launcher, latching on its carry handle, and its energy pack. Gundam Unit 4 boosted loadout for this G-frame set consists of a pair of 60mm Falcons on the head, a pair of beam sabers on the backpack, a pair of beam guns as weapon port on the forearm, and the Mega Beam Launcher. The 60mm Falcons remain unchanged since Gundam Unit 4 was first built in Jaburo. While they are not directly benefit from the upgrade Gundam Unit 4 received, they've proven themselves to be capable enough to not to be replaced. The beam sabers remain largely unchanged from RX-78-4's original configuration as well. It is possible for Gundam Unit 4 to use its improved power output to project a slightly longer blade. But Jaburo had other plans for those extra power. Rather, Gundam Unit 4 Boosted would use its improved acceleration, agility, and physicality to gain melee superiority. The pair of beam guns on the forearm weapon port are added with the boosted configuration. They are a more compact and refined version of RX-79's beam spray gun, utilizing the extra power output from the larger main reactors to operate. Just like the adoption of the beam spray gun, Federation's analysis of battle reports concluded that mobile suit combat is fought in close range, and volume of fire is more important than raw knockout power. Having them installed on Gundam Unit 4 Boosted's forearm means that Gundam Unit 4 can still use them with other weapons in its hands, and in enclosed spaces like interior of space fortresses like Abo are cool. In the vacuum of space, beam shots do not dissipate as quickly as they would have on Earth. Gundam Unit 4 can use those beam guns to provide covering fire as well. Talking about raw knockout power, we should talk about Gundam Unit 4 Boosted's main weapon, Mega Beam Launcher. With the success of mass deployment of Mobile Suit's portable beam weapons, Federation Force would like to improve the firepower of those beam weapons individually. While the RX-78 beam rifle matches the firepower of a beam cannon on a battleship, Federation wonder if they can make a beam weapon that matches the firepower of a single battleship. One of those projects resulted in the Mega Beam Launcher. The Mega Beam Launcher is an upscale version of the RX-78 beam rifle, with a large bore and caliber barrel in order to launch a much larger beam bolt over long distances. The giant beam bolt would match the firepower of a full shovel of a battleship's beam cannons, capable of destroying a mobile suit squadron along with their mother ship. With such enormous destructive power, the Mega Beam Launcher needs an enormous E-cap, and it is mounted separately on the Gundam Unit 4 Boosted's backpack pylon as the Energy Unit Pack. There is supposed to be a supply conduit running from the Energy Pack's outlet into the back of the Mega Beam Launcher, but we got no representation of it in this G-frame set. The Energy Unit Pack is isolated from the rest of the Mega Beam Launcher in order to improve the weapon's ergonomics or salvage what little it could have. In addition, this allows extra Energy Unit Packs to be stored and charged on Gundam Unit 4 Boosted's mothership, improving the possible sustained fire capabilities. Ideally, this also allows Gundam Unit 4 to pair other beam weapons with the Energy Unit Pack in other configurations. Jaburo's mission for Gundam Unit 4 Boosted is pretty straightforward. A single fast mobile suit with firepower of a battleship, able to neutralize Abaku's defenses in relatively safe distance, while with enough close-range fighting capabilities to overcome any interceptors. Once all of the external defenses are neutralized, Gundam Unit 4 Boosted would breach Abaku's many blast doors with the Mega Beam Launcher and neutralize any defenders behind them. Those who survive would face the dual beam gun and beam sabers along with Gundam Unit 4 Boosted's superior physicality and reflex. With such perfect layout for Operation Star One and backed up by Gundam Unit 5 boosted with the giant Gatling, surely Gundam Unit 4 boosted would cement its place as the new standard for Gundam, also Jaburo would imagine. The Mega Beam launcher was test-fired and had some field trials, but Abawa-kun was fought with new heights of ferocity that neither Federation or Zeon had anticipated, at least for people who hoped the war to end. And the Mega Beam launcher exploded in the thick of the siege. Some records suggest the Gundam Unit 4 was lost along with its pilots, while others suggest that both survived, but the accident kept the two Gundam and Thoroughbred from charging further forward. Either way, Jaburo's Project G4 was not a runaway success like it had hoped, but it was successful enough on paper that Jaburo got to spearhead the RX-80 project after the war, until that was replaced by the GP series by the Ministry of Defense. Many modifications made on Gundam Unit 4 was followed by Gundam Unit 6 and 7, and valued G4 projects like Gundam NT1. Late war GMs like GM Command and variants also used the cooling system developed on Gundam Unit 4. The RX-80 series was also heavily influenced by Gundam Unit 4 and its boosted configuration. All in all, being one of the original 8 Gundam build, having a whole family of GM based on it, and participated in the siege of Abawa-ku, Gundam Unit 4 is more than worthy to bear the name of Gundam. Thanks for watching.